All right. How many people actually played that original?
Yes.
Original?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
I've been NES solid-stating it right
That's
now.
before my time. So.
No, whatever.
All right. Tell me this. What defines success?
Definition of done.
Winning.
Capturing the
Different
princess.
definitions.
Capturing the princess. All right. Winning.
Getting the most coins or points.
Not just for the game, but just what defines success in business, life, your department,
Oh.
accomplishing your goals. What's that?
Not running out of product.
Not running out of product. Okay. What else defines success? Leadership. What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, for what we do, we set goals for the performance of new rollouts.
Okay.
So
Good.
those goals are typically influenced pretty strongly by leadership.
Good. Good. Hey, Allie, did you hit record again? Okay. Good job. I should have known you. It's my DC over there. She's on it. Yeah, so you've set the standard. This is the expectations. This is what it's going to roll out. This is what it's going to look like. Good. What else? How else do you find success?
Growth.
Growth. Okay.
Development.
Development. What's the difference in growth and development?
Growth is, in my mind, yourself, and development is the people around you.
Okay, good. I like that. I like that. That's good. So here's what I say. Actually, let's do this. I'm going to do this first. Success is arrival at the desired destination. Success is arrival at the desired destination. If we go over here to DFW, you don't walk in and go, that's a shiny plane. Let's get on that one. Or, hey, I know a friend that works for that airline. Let's get on that plane. No, you get on the plane based upon where you want to go, right? So you have to know where you want to go before you can know how to get there. So often we run down a path to get somewhere and we're not sure why we're running down that path and where it's going to get us. So we have to define our destination before we know if we're going to be successful to get there. So our goal, you said part of leadership, is saying we want to hit these markers, these growth marks in sales and projections and all these kind of things. You have to define those things before you know if you're successful. And the more clear a team can define their success, define what they want to achieve, the better you are, more likely you are to actually hit that goal, right? But you have to be clear. So success is arrival at the desired destination. So you go out here and you go, hey, I want to go to San Diego. That's my destination. That's where I want to go. Anybody want to go to San Diego? Sound good? Yeah. And you land in Albuquerque. Oh, that's a big disappointment, right? There's sand both places. Not the same thing, right? Is that success?
No.
Why?
Die.
Huh?
You didn't die.
You didn't die?
I was gonna say, depends. It's
Okay.
plane crashing, and you're like, we landed.
Good.
Great.
So
That's a success.
if you land in Albuquerque and one of the engines is on fire, is that success?
Yes.
Yes. But it didn't get you where you wanted to go. But there's a reason you didn't land there, right? There was a reason that you took a detour and had to go somewhere else. You have to say, that's where we're going. We may not get there, but there's a reason something hit. Did that happen in 2020? We had projections. We didn't hit those projections, right? Because there was some outside force that changed everything for us. You need to know what you're going after. If you fall short, what's the reason? What happened? What's on our part? What's outside of us that could do that? Okay? All right, stand up. It's after lunch. Let's just take a second, stretch out. I'm old, I'm fat, I'm out of shape, my back hurts, all these kind of things, right? Ooh, actually, that just popped really good for me right there. That was good. All right, here's what I want you to do. Just stretch out your arms, stretch out your back a little bit, stretch it out. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to reach as high as you possibly can. Okay? Reach as high as you possibly can. Both hands. All right? Reach as high as you possibly can. Good? All right, let it out. All right, shake it out a little bit, stretch out, do a little bit more. Okay, this time I want you to do it again, and I want you to reach even higher. Ready? Go. High as you can go. Everything you got, stretch it out. Reach higher. Higher. High as you got. High. Let it all out. What was the command that was given to you first?
Stretch high as you can go.
So who reached higher the second time?
I'm sure we all did. Well, I used my two.
I stood on my 10.
So the second time you reached higher. Well, the first time you were told, reach as high as you possibly can. Is that pretty clear?
Yeah.
Reach as high as you possibly can. So everyone would say, yeah, but the second time I reached higher. Does that seem like a problem?
Yeah.
Why? Why does this happen?
We stretched in between.
Oh, yeah, that stretch gets you an extra 4 inches right there. I mean, if you do this enough, you'll just reach the ceiling, right? Because we always pull up short. We always try to get away with less. We always try to do what can we get away with rather than doing our very best, reaching as high as you possibly can. Reach as high as you possibly can. Everybody, reach high as you can. Okay, I can do it more next time, right? Everything in us wants to take the easy way out. Part of our leadership is stretching ourselves and being willing to push past what's comfortable, push past what's natural, push past what everyone else is doing, and actually reach as high as you possibly can. All right? You can go ahead and be seated. That is my controller. So, here's what you do. Get in groups of 3, okay? And I want you have some rubber bands in front of you. And come up.
Either a group of 4 or group 2.
Okay, you can have 4 if you need. And I want you to come up with, just make a list real quick. I'm not going to give you a lot of time. As many different ways as you can use a rubber band as possible.
All right.
Right now?
Yes, go.
Attach them, like so they can't get it. Yeah.
It's 1998.
Oh, yeah.
It could be Joker. I type so much now. I can't write.
All right, a few more seconds. All right. A few more seconds, but here's what I want you to do. I want you to put a star next to the one that you think is the most creative. All right? All right. Ready?
Okay, I grew up in rural.
All right, we'll start over here. How many did y'all come up with?
7.
All right, read yours off.
Slingshot, hairband, bracelet, holding cabinets together, hold deck of cards, tourniquet, and exercise band.
Exercise what? Exercise band. Okay. But you'll have a bunch of those? A few of those? Some unique ones? Tourniquet? Yeah? That's y'all's most unique one? Tourniquet, right? Okay, good. Read things on your list that they haven't already listed.
Forgive me if I repeat, because she went through it pretty quickly. Ponytail, money clip, repair broken glasses, shoelaces, keep a lid on, jewelry. So we had like ring, anklet, earring, bracelet.
All the things.
All the things.
Hold paper together, and then castrate animals.
Wow.
That's most creative one I've heard. All right, that's a good one. Castrate animals. All right.
I did. I grew up in rural. Yeah.
That's a unique one. So tourniquet.
It's okay. It was a thing.
Tourniquet actually works the same way. Yeah. Okay.
That's how I thought.
Not sure what's going on this side of the room, okay? All right. Anything that you have on your list that hasn't been listed, and what's your most unique?
Maybe like snap people with it. I don't know if someone said that.
No.
Weapon.
Alex said that. Yeah, I can tell. You probably did that.
Yeah, inflict pain?
Hurt people was the one that we had a star next to because you
Yeah.
hurt people with it, flick it. So we had all the hurt people with it.
Okay.
Flick it,
That makes
snap
sense with
it,
Chris.
Sling it. Yeah.
Huh?
Sling it.
Okay. All right. So this is our violent C group back here. Just be careful with them, all right?
Sounds like a band name, Violent Seas.
Yeah. All right. What you have on your list that hasn't been mentioned, and what was your most creative?
Most creative was use it as a booby trap. And then we have extend belt, fix, tie things, kind of all the same thing. Decorate, use it as decoration, hold things together, break things, fling, and use as music.
Okay, you're going to have to explain to me what
Which one?
booby trap.
I mean, you could use it in a, well, we didn't like come up with a plan.
Did anybody else feel like they had come up with a plan?
Separated. They need to be separated.
Like, who hasn't seen
Booby
Home
trap.
Alone? Like, I'm sure he used
Okay.
rubber bands.
I could trick someone.
Did anybody else like feel like they've come up with an idea?
Oh, I got it. You tie it around the faucet thing. Like, who didn't do that on April
Okay.
Fool's Day?
Oh, and also,
Yeah.
All right.
and have y'all
Like
never did
around
the
the
spray?
so when you turn it on,
Done.
it just sprays it.
What were you saying?
Well, then there's also that one that back in high school people would do, where you would twist paper in a rubber band and put it inside an envelope. When you open it,
Okay. Good.
or you put it inside like a plastic bag and say there's a rattlesnake in here, and then they open it. And
Yep, I've heard that before. That's okay. So every one of these is all about. And you're over here castrating as well, huh?
well, I said, are you?
So everything that you just listed, a rubber band that's not stretched is not useful. A rubber band that's not stretched is not useful. It's not fulfilling its purpose. The entire purpose of a rubber band is to be stretched. It's literally why it's made, right? To be stretched, whether it's holding things together, cutting things off, or anything else, right? Or keeping blood in. Everything it's about, it has to have tension on it. It has to be stretched to really fulfill its purpose. Well, the same thing is true for us. As leaders, we have to stretch. We have to stretch past what's comfortable. We have to stretch past what's norm. We have to stretch past what other people are willing to stretch to in order to get to that next level, right? Every one of these rubber bands, different colors, different sizes, different lengths, different tension, different thickness, right? They're all different, but the one thing that they all have in common is they all have to be stretched to be useful. Everyone in this room, different personality types, different gifting, different history, different past, different skill sets. Everyone is different, but to really be at your best, you have to be stretched. You have to stretch past what's comfortable, what's norm, in order to get to that next level. And so the Mario Brothers is all about leveling up. We have to level up. And games are created that when you level up, it's always a ticket to a harder level. Our life, every time you level up, it's only a ticket, an admission ticket to the next battle, to the next harder battle, right? 1-1 on Mario Brothers is really easy, right? But 1-4 felt really hard the first time you ever played it. And then you finally beat the dragon. And then you go to World 2 and you're going, oh my gosh, this is so different. Everything in our life is about that way. We have to level up and we have to stretch over and over and over again. And when we get comfortable, we really kind of lose our purpose, especially as leaders. We have to be willing to stretch ourselves in order to stretch our team. And the team will never go further than you're willing to go. If you're not willing to be stretched, everyone on your team will just find ways to just do the status quo. When you become the status quo, you're preparing to die. As a team, as an organization, as a company, whatever that looks like, you are saying this is as far as we're going. And when the leader stops growing and stretching, then everything in the organization stops growing, stretching, and getting better. Right? So, I didn't hand you all this next set of papers. All right. For the two people that were here in January, we talked through this. And I always like to start any new leadership class that I do. I always like starting with DISC and talking through this right here. Take one of those, pass those down. Because part of success is knowing where we want to go. A big part of success is knowing where we want to go, what we want to achieve, how are we willing to stretch to get there. Okay? Where'd my controller go? Oh. So, this is you right here. All right? This is you. This is everything that you've been on in your life and on your journey. The ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, the moves, the changes from your last company to the new 5 weeks on, right? Everything that is in your life has got you right where you are today. This is where you are. This is who you are. I'm old, fat, bald, and out of shape, right? That's who I am. Okay? Got to be honest with who I am. I'm never going to grow hair. It just ain't happening. All right? Maybe for a different reason. Looks like you actually can. I can't, okay? There's a difference there. I'm never going to be 25 and have a six-pack again. Again, that sounds like I once had that. Didn't want to misconstrue anything there, okay? But you have to be honest about this is where I am in life. This is who I am. And everything that you've been on, this path, has led you right here. And if you continue on this path, this is probably where you'll land. If you just continue to do the same old things, you're going to get the same old results. And you can just predict. If you max out your credit cards every single month, I do not have to be part of the finance team. I don't have to be Dave Ramsey to know your financial future. Right? If you max out your credit cards every month, this is probably where you're going to end up financially. If you eat Cheetos and ice cream every single night and never work out, I don't have to be a dietitian or a gym rat to know your future, right? It's pretty predictable. If you do these things, this is where you're going to go. But at some point in our life, we get here and you go, you know what? I don't want that anymore. I know there's something different for my life. There's something better for my life. There's something that has to be different. And it cut it off weird. It's this preferred future. What's the future that you prefer? What are the things in your life that you want different? What do you want in a year, in 3 years, in 5 years, in 10 years? What do you want your life to look like? What do you want your career to look like? What do you want your finances and your family? What do you want those things to look like? If we continue on this, we get somewhere we really don't want. But at some point we go, I dream different. I desire different. I'm willing to be stretched and grow and go after something that's better. Sound good? But we got to answer the question, what do you want? Part of leadership is helping our team know what do we want to achieve? What do I want to achieve? What do I want to achieve for my life? What do I want to achieve for my family? I have my daughter back here. What do I want to help her achieve for her life? Right? Most people get to some point in life and they go, I want something different. Anybody ever been at that point in life? But then you go, but I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want. You can't just go pick a plane and go, let's go get on a plane. You have to decide, this is what I'm shooting after. And you have to define it. So my challenge to you, and part of your growth, part of your leadership development, part of you stretching, is identifying some goals that you have for your life. What do you want in a year? 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? And the reason I always thought 10 years, that people go, man, that's so far out there. Dream big, right? Dream big. I have one of my goals is in the next 5 years to make 5 people millionaires. I want to make... First, that's a D right there. That's one of my goals. I want to help 5 people become millionaires. Not that they hit $1 million, but they literally become millionaires. And so I work and structure my life and the clients that I take on based upon some of these goals that I have, right? I've identified some different things. Have you identified anything that you want in your life? Do you know what you want? Talk about you and your husband, right? Yeah. If you never identify it, you just continue on this path. And then you end up at 30, at 35, at 40, at 45, at 50, at 70, and go, never really wanted to be here. But you never said, I want something different. And you never identified what you wanted to go after that's different. Leadership is identifying the future, identifying things that you're willing to go after. Part of we're going to talk about this next time. This is your personal leadership growth. Next time we're going to talk about how do you have team growth. Part of leading a team is helping them identify not just the big goal, but the small strategic steps along the way, right? So what do you want? You must identify what you want if you're ever going to achieve your dreams. Second question we have to answer is this: why do you want it? So, January 1st, what does everybody want to do?
Lose weight.
Right? Everyone wants to lose weight January 1st, right? Okay, but not everybody. Most people, all right? Not everybody can be like you. We're all ugly and horrible in comparison, okay?
The thing is, I disagree with that. Everyone can if they want it.
Did you hear that?
Yep.
They can if they want it, but do you want it? And what I would tell you is Simon Sinek has a book called Start With Why. I think why is second to what. What gives you a target? Why is the motivation to go after it? Okay?
How much do you want it? Yeah.
And how
Because you want it, it's like, what are you willing to do for it?
That's right.
That's the question.
On average, how many hours a week do you spend working out? Whatever that means.
10.
Okay, 10 hours a week. I'm not committed to 10 hours a week. I'm not. So I'm not going to have that same goal, right? Do I need to be healthier? Yes. Do I need to identify specifically what healthier means? Yes. But I don't have the same goal. I don't have the same what. So I took, our family went snow skiing for spring break. Back in December, I decided, hey, I need to get in a little better shape. We're going to be in the mountains. I don't want to die on the mountain. I want to be able to breathe, right? So I began doing some things because I was going with my kids skiing. I had a why that was motivating me to do something. You have to identify what do you want and then why. Why do you want it? Why is it important to you? Because your reason for health and your reason for health may be completely different, right? Why you go after it is your motivator. What gets you going? Why keeps you going? Why is the reason you wake up in the morning and you are thinking about that project. You're thinking about that idea. You're thinking about this dream. You're thinking about, it just consumes you, right? Why keeps you going? When things are difficult, when things are overwhelming, when things are, I don't want to wake up and go to the gym, the why goes, yeah, but I'm doing this because I want something different for my kids. I want something different for my health. It's part of the culture that I want to create. Why is that motivator that we need in our life? And you have to identify what motivates you. The other thing is you have to identify what motivates your team. Just like your communication and going to different team, they also not just have a communication style, they have a different motivator. And you can't just go, hey, if we hit this target, everybody's going to get this bonus. That may not be a motivator. Someone would say, can I just have 3 days off? Right? You have to know what motivates them. What will get you going, but why will keep you going? Next is how. How are we going to get there? How are we going to get there? The gap between where you are and where you could be seems too big. Make it smaller. So, let's just say this. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to get out of financial debt. The gap from here to there feels so far, right? So everybody on January 1st goes, I want to lose 20 pounds this year. Okay, that means I need to go buy a gym membership. I need to go buy some new workout clothes. I really need some new tennis shoes. I need to change my Kroger click list. I need to change the smoothie that I get from this to this. I need to think about, am I going to go before work? Am I going to go after work? How's that going to affect the kids? How's that going to affect dinner? How's that going to affect my job? Where am I going to do this? What gym am I going to go to? And before you did anything, it's too big. It's exhausting. Anybody ever feel like that?
That sounds like an S analysis paralysis.
That's me.
Yeah, that's analysis process. But so many people get in this, I have to eat this big elephant all at one time, rather than going, it's not this big thing I have to do, it's this. That if I change this one thing right here, it changes the trajectory. It changes the angle. This one angle right here begins to change the movement to what you want to do. So the how is small steps. So I'm in this process of writing a book. And my book is based upon this. Big dreams, small steps. The problem is we dream too little and take too few small steps. We have little dreams and we think we can do it all overnight. And you can, because you didn't dream big enough. So we need to dream bigger and we have to do the small steps. This point right here, when you begin shifting momentum, is when it's the toughest. Because the old habits and the new habits are actually fighting against each other. You don't have a hard time waking up and going to the gym or whenever you go, right? It's part of, usually not, because it's part of who you are at this point of your life. You're over here, right? You're not trying to start something new, but when you're trying to start something new, there's all this area right here that says, hey, all your old ways, let's eat some Cheetos and ice cream tonight, right? Going, yeah, but I want this. So how do we do that? How do we not have this list of 40 things that we have to do, but how do we take some small steps? Well, eat Cheetos or ice cream, not both, right? It's small steps. It's not going to buy a gym membership. It's getting out of your car at the end of the day and walking to the end of the block and back. In your work clothes, just walking to the end. It's small things. It's small things with your team. It's small things in your personal development. If you're not learning, if you're not growing, if you're not stretching, you've just said, I'm okay with just having a mediocre future. Whatever that future is, you're saying, I'm not willing to fight for something better. But you have to identify what you want. Why do you want it? Why is it important to you? How are you going to get there? Identify not the big steps, but what's one thing I can do today? That if I can do this one thing today, and I can do one more thing tomorrow, and I can do one more thing the next day, just one. So, our finance people have probably heard this before. Would you rather have $1 million? Yes, yes, she just said yes. Don't even know the other side, just yes. Or a penny doubled for 30 days.
Penny doubled for 30 days.
Yeah, for sure. Although I'd have to do the math. What is it, Joey?
More than $1 million.
Okay.
5.3.
Perfect.
5.3 million.
Yeah.
Okay? That
So
seems.
invest is what you're saying.
I did not say I'm not giving financial advice, okay? Keep me out of that lane. I know my lane. I know it's not my lane, all right? The answer is yes, but that's all I'm saying. The little things add up. And you're going, well, it's 1 cent, and it's 2 cents, then it's 4 cents, then it's 8 cents, then it's 16, and 32, and 64, and 128, and 256. Going, I'm on day 8 and I got $2.56. Why don't you just give me my $1 million? Right?
It's like lottery winners versus investors.
That's right. Play the long game. Day 25 is 400,000. Shut off a little too early. All those big duplicates stop happening, right? It's all these small steps. If you add up the pennies every day, just drops in the bucket to where you want to be. Who do you want to be personally? What do you want? Who do you want to be? What do you want to have? What do you want to do? If you identify those things and you begin making small steps, they begin adding up. The other thing I'm just going to tell you is that, I don't know if I have it on here. Oh, yeah. When you start moving this way, we're going to talk about the who. Not everyone wants you to succeed. Just know that reality. And it sucks. You'll have friends, when you go, I'm committed to my own growth, there'll be friends who say, what, you think you're too good for us now? Right? You've seen it. The people you choose will determine how far you go. The people you choose will determine how far you go. What does this mean?
Good influences in your life will push you to go further.
Okay. Isn't that what mom like told us at like 10 years old? Right? Hey, your friends are going to determine your future. Mom said, don't hang around with that group of friends. That kid's no good. Don't hang out with him. Right? It's true at 30, 40, and 50. Who you surround yourself by determines your future. You know, the adage is, if you sit with 5 fools, you're going to be the 6th, but sit with 5 millionaires and you'll be the 6th. Right? Who you surround yourself with makes a difference. Not everyone wants to go where you want to go, and not everyone will celebrate when you get there. You look like you had a thought on that.
I want some millionaire friends.
You want some millionaire friends?
I was just thinking, where do I find these millionaires?
Why you want to be a millionaire?
That's the question. What do you want? Okay, I want to be a millionaire. Why do you want that? Why is that important to you?
I'm just following along with the
No.
group, but the exercise.
I think it's good. I'm with him.
What's your
What
why?
defines
No, why?
success
What,
for you?
what defines success for you? My success is not how much money I make. My goal, my objective is, can I make other people financially wealthy? Because that's their goal. So how do I step next to different corporate training, teams like this? All y'all represent so many different chains, right? In the whole organization. How do I help people reach their goals? So my goal is not to be a millionaire. Actually, I have some different goals. It's not that, though. My goal is to help people become millionaires. I think that will make me a millionaire. But my goal is not to become a millionaire. It's to, why? Because I want to be more about other people than just about myself. Right? That's the why. One key part of leadership is being honest. All right? Gold star there just for being honest about it. All right? Here's what I want you to hear about this. Not everyone will celebrate when you get there. Do you realize? Tell me your name again. Melissa. If you won a $5 million lotto, okay?
Tell me.
Friends will come out of the woodworks, and then when you begin changing your lifestyle, they'll say, oh, you think you're too good for us now. True?
No, yes, I am too good for you now, yes. sure am.
Can you have that attitude? Hey, no, this is actually really important. Can you have the attitude that, like, hey, I'm too good to hang out with you anymore?
Yes.
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 Because there's other people who want to eat Cheetos and ice cream and sit on the couch every night. Right? And that's not your goal. So, I'm not against you. That's fine for your life. It's just not what I want for my life. Right? And so part of our growth is being able to go, I am willing to pay the price to get to this goal. I want this future for my life. What is that future? That's what you have to decide. But we have to be willing to learn, grow, and stretch and not stop stretching. When we get comfortable, we become complacent. And not everyone along the way will celebrate your success. So, know what you want, know why you want it, know how you get there, small steps, who's going with you. You have to have a team of people that said, I'm committed to your success because you're committed to their success. And then what happens if nothing changes? This is, to me, really a sad question, kind of almost like a depressing question, because it's at the point that people go, yeah, but I'm just not willing to pay that price. Man, I hate that for you. Because you said, I want this, and this is why I want it, and I'm willing to do the small steps. These are the people. But you know what? Nah, I'm not going to pay the price. Everything comes at a cost, right? Everything comes at a cost. Today, you took time to invest in yourself. Volunteer, whatever. You took time to, it cost you some time away from other things that you could be doing. And here's what I want you to hear most important today. There is no greater investment than you. There's no greater investment that you can make in your life than investing in you. Developing your own leadership, developing your own ability to communicate, developing your own skill to be able to lead better. Because when you get better, everyone around you gets better. We have this idea and this mantra that I need to put everybody else first. You can't put everyone else first if you're drowning. And you need to get better. You need to get stronger. You need to be willing to invest in yourself, learn, grow, read books, find things that help you to be better, because when you get better, everyone around you gets better. Right? Don't ever feel bad for investing in yourself. I want to clarify. That does not mean, hey, I want everybody out of the house so I can sit on the couch and watch ice cream and binge watch Netflix for 8 hours. You may need a rest, but that's not really investing in yourself, okay? It can be a hobby, but it's not investing in yourself, okay? I'm not saying you don't need rest, okay? I'm not saying you don't need rest. But is that actually the rest that you need? And sometimes when we invest in ourselves and we spend some time reading and studying, and you know what? I'm going to plan an afternoon. I'm going to go sit somewhere. I'm going to go drink a coffee, and I'm going to really think about what I want for my life. You actually come back refreshed. You're not tired after it. You're going, oh, I've identified some things.
Yeah.
Hey, hubby, let's talk through some things. Right?
I feel like I need marital counsel now.
So me and my wife do that. I'll tell you the fee for that after today. No, I'm just. It is great doing a disc assessment. If you're married, I highly recommend doing a disc assessment with your spouse.
How do you do that with them if they're not part of the company? Can they just go on and pay?
I can do that because I do y'all use everything disc. So I do everything disc with some corporations, and then I do John Maxwell's disc assessment that we can do separately. It gets you the same answer. What the printout looks like, what the dashboard looks like is the same. So you'll have my email if that's something you want to do. We can meet together, walk through it together, or do a Zoom or whatever. So it is, when you start realizing that about your kids, when you start realizing that about your spouse, every one of your arguments that and frustrations you've had with your team or your spouse probably came from a disc issue. You communicated different languages. When you understand that, going, oh, that's why she was so pissed off about that. Oh, that makes sense, right? Knowing yourself, knowing other people, knowing how to communicate, and being willing to invest in yourself over and over and over again throughout this process. I'm just going to tell you, continue to invest in yourself. Continue to invest in yourself. There's no greater investment that you can make than in yourself. Because of this. The world is full of miserable people. Joe, would you just agree with that first line?
Yeah.
Can you agree with that first line?
Yeah.
Right? The world's full of people who once had a dream and settled for mediocrity. People are miserable because they don't have a clear path forward. They don't know what they want. They don't know why they want it. They don't know what they're willing to pay the price to go after it. And then they ended up sacrificing and paying a price to go get something. They go, it's actually not even what I wanted. So what do you want? Why do you want it? What price are you willing to pay to go get it? Sound good? Has this been helpful today?
Yeah. What was your disc assessment?
I'm a D.
You did say that. That's right.
Yep. One more on there. Okay, we need to go through a couple things. We are going to do our next in-person on August 7th. Can everybody look at their calendar?
No, I don't have anything.
I'm free.
It's a Thursday. Our Thursdays afternoons typically work.
I probably make it work. Let me check my calendar. Is that going to have
Is it the same time?
I have a meeting.
We'll do 1 to 3 on August 7th in person.
Alex, you're in the gym.
Oh, well,
From
okay.
1
I can move that.
to 1 to 2:15.
I can move that. Because so is Rachel.
Otherwise, you
Does that work?
Not just me, guys.
Okay. We'll plan that. On that day, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about team, building team culture. How do we develop your ability to take disc, communicate to your team? How do you build the culture of your team? How do you invest in making everyone around you better? That'll be the big focus of that. Today's all about you, helping you get better. But now we're going to shift it to how do you get your team better? How do you get better for the organization and how do you build a culture. Okay? The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to do monthly calls. They'll be 45 minutes to an hour max. We will stay on time. Are Thursday afternoons okay with y'all for that? Just once a month on Thursdays? Does something like that work?
Yes.
You don't even know yet.
All right, sure.
Do you even have a login yet? Do you have an email? Okay. There's no normal ongoing meetings that you have during that time. There may be some one-offs. The other thing is we'll make sure all those are recorded. You'll be able to access those as well.
What time are we thinking?
Is 1 or 2 o'clock work on Thursday afternoons?
Yeah.
Not every Thursday.
Not for Joe.
Not every Thursday, once a month. We'll do 2, June and July, we'll meet online. August, we'll meet in person. September, October, we'll meet online. End of October, November, we'll meet back in person. We'll probably do the 4th one in January. I know November, December's nuts for people, and I try not to schedule training for people then.
A lot of vacation.
Yeah, a lot of vacation time, a lot of travel, trying to wrap up books, trying to wrap up
Not the last Thursday of June, since that's like.
conference. Yeah, we won't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I was like,
Just a little.
Yeah,
I think most of us are probably not gonna.
yeah. Sound good? Has this been helpful?
Yes.
Been good? Y'all excited about this? The other thing is, I'll put it back up there. My email is up there. If you have questions, you go, hey, can we talk about something specifically about my team? I want you to have access. Go, hey, I just got some questions. There's a scenario I'm working with a team member, something unique here. It feels like it's more difficult than it should be. Reach out to me. I want to be able to help through those things. Because when the leader gets better, everyone gets better. Sound good? All right, thoughts, comments, questions?
Did Laura share when the rest of the company's gonna get it?
Yeah. Disc.
The disc rollout?
Q3. So it'll be a little while.
The goal is as soon as, for me, trying to work with her on that, as soon as conference is over, I'm going to start sending out disc assessments to different chunks, and that we'll do 3 different trainings, trying to get everybody through in 3 sessions.
So to add on to that, by the time we have the team building meeting in August, all of our team members should have completed it, because I know both of mine haven't completed it.
Okay.
So I wouldn't know what their disc,
Okay.
disc is.
I will talk to Laura, and I will try to get that out. I may try to even get sent out before conference so that not everybody's going to get it, and you'll be able to see who's on there and who's getting it. Through that, we'll begin. Can I see what yours looks like? Do you have it pulled up?
Are y'all doing it by like departments or by like title level? Like,
We've talked both ways,
a
and
certain way or a certain date. And,
I don't know the answer to that.
I was just curious.
Me and Laura, she's gone back and forth on it, and she's an I.
Oh, I see your point. Yeah.
I didn't say anything.
And I'm an eye, so I get it. Actually, like diagnose.
So,
You can see, for everybody who has it, like I was looking as long as we talked
Yep.
about it, you can see this group.
So,
there already.
yeah, your group, we have that leadership cohort as a group, and as more people complete them, you'll start seeing more of them add on there. And you can just do it under my colleagues. You'll be able to see everybody in the company. Sound good? Good question. Anything else? That's good. I will try to get that out sooner to y'all, or to everybody rather than later. I may try to get it out, push her a little harder to get that out before
Are we gonna
conference.
explore if we're not like on the peripheral,
Yeah.
you know, like the periphery of the circle?
Yes.
Like what that kind of means to be more in the middle?
Yep. Limited time today. But every time we're together in person, we will break down disc more. I'm telling you, I've done, I don't know, several hundred of these just in person, not counting like this. And it is secret sauce. It is, the more you just understand about disc and you start seeing some, if I can, this person checks this, and this box, they're probably a D, they're probably an I. I change how I communicate with them, right? And it's not manipulative. It's speaking their language. So, good. Anything else?
Thank you.
All right. No, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate y'all's interaction. It was a good day. It'll continue to get better each and every time.